Once again, folks, greetings. I am Richard from KS Collectibles. Welcome to KS Customs. We are continuing our painting. That's why we're focusing mostly on the desk, and you're not actually haven't been seeing me on camera for a while, which I'm sure you all miss. But we're focusing on the continuing to focus on the painting of the McFarlane Toys Chaos Space Marine from Warhammer 40k. I have put down most of the base work. What I'm working with here is I chose to do the black and gold, and then on one area I went with that steel color that I had used. I still have some touch-ups here to do, a couple spots that I missed, and then I also highlighted some of the black inner with steel where there's piping. So that's my basic look that I'm going for. As you can see, I did the black on the under part of the armor. I still need to work on the towel and the belt. I also chose to do one of the arms in that steel color. I might actually today put it together just so we can see the toy assembled. Pretty much any touch-ups I have to do are going to be on the outside. Everything else has been sealed and done. So except for kind of this diaper piece, which it's pretty easy to get to. I chose to, as I had said before, take off some of the spikes that were on the shoulder mount there, and then add some battle damaging using some multi-put sculpting clay, so that will fit like this. And I did do one arm that is going to be unarmored in that flesh tone. Still need to add a little bit almost bluing so it matches the skin tone of the face here. But yeah, it's just continuing. I still need to do these spikes on here, figure out what color I'm going to do the boots, as well as do the final coat along the gold trim. And I'm probably going to do these belts in brown with a wash. And I still need to figure out what color I'm going to do the skull here. As well as the horns that are along it. And really a lot of it now, like I said, is highlighting. We have our base down. We have it sealed twice. And now it's just about getting that final look in there. We're gonna paint it one more time and seal it one more time. As you can see, there's certain areas, like I didn't get the inside of this glove here. It's kind of hard to tell with the light, but you can see the difference how this is completely flat. There's a couple of small areas that I didn't really get because I wanted to leave some to do on camera. And just so you guys can see, and it's simple workings. Especially when it comes to like something like these spikes, what I do obviously is just paint the spikes, but you want to be aware of any overpaint that you have, so you can go back over that with that base color, so it's not bleeding too far. into your colors. And the thing about metallics is they're really thin. So it may look like you have a piece covered and it might be shiny the way you want it to and everything. But when it dries, you will start to see the mist spots and the streaks kind of pop out a lot more, which is it's normal, and you don't be discouraged by that. I choose to do multiple layers, especially when it's with metallics, because number one, they are very thin. Even before watering them down, which I don't water. I water metallics down a lot less than I do other paints. But number two, they scratch very easily. And you get paint rubs with metallics very easy. And when that happens, they do pop. It does show really, really, really bad when you lose some metallic paint on something. Like if I have this gold and it gets scratched in a certain area, that gray that comes through, or that black that comes through, or whatever color is underneath it that comes through, really kind of pops, because it's such a contrast to that shimmer that's there. So just always be aware of that. And you can see there is some overpainting on there, and I'll just go over that with the black to clean it up. And there's a lot of little outer edges and stuff like that I didn't even cover in my initial base coat painting, because I save them for these times. And I'll go over that in a second, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So there are areas such as, if you see underneath that foot, not the bottom of the foot, but right here, this edging. So this is gold up here of the edging right here, but underneath it, it's still gray. When I initially paint it, I don't really worry about that edging or those corners and stuff, because it's kind of like when it comes to like carpentry, it's like it's finish work. It's stuff that you're not going to cover it as many times as you do your base coats. You're not going to go over it, 3 or 4 times. You're going to do it maybe twice. So I save it for the last couple coats. Like it's the last things really to be doing cleanup work or finish work, whatever you want to call it. There's many ways you can do it. I suppose you can do it to start. Kind of like if you're painting your house, some people do it to, like, they call cut corners in. But I feel personally when I do that, I inevitably end up having to do it way more times, because in the base coat, I'll end up getting so much of the base paint over it, and then I'll have to do it, 4 or 5 times. As opposed to doing it at the very end and having to do it maybe twice, maybe 3 times. It's usually twice, um, even with metallics, but that's because I don't leave the largest. I don't leave a whole lot left to do. The reason I may have to go over it again is because I have to paint the boot still, so I may get some of that paint, that boot paint on there. And it is a lot about just kind of going over and seeing where you still see some of those natural paints, some of those unpainted areas, and making sure you get them with your color. Um, and like I said, with a metallic, those areas really kind of pop, so you see them pretty easily. Um, I've never really done something that has this much um, metallic color on it. Well, this is actually using quite a bit. Usually I use metallics as a highlight. It's not like a real big base color for me. Um, so having to go through and find all the areas. Um, like I said, it's not even really having to find them because they'll pop. All you got to do is turn it a certain way and you'll see exactly where you missed. I should get this more on camera. And the good thing about it is the edging is just like this. I'm just running the brush right across it, just there's not a lot of large areas that I missed. Um, there may be some that is a risk with the metallics. There may be some area where the paint was a little too thin, so or too watered, so it needs to be redone anyway, and that could be a large area. When the paint is wet, especially with metallics, it's kind of hard to see or to tell if it's streaky or not. That is one unfortunate part about it. But when it's done and done right, it looks so clean. That's another point is like Ed said with the steel color in the last video. You really want to make sure that your paints are mixed well. I usually store them, especially metallics, upside down. So I will store them, make sure they're nice and tight. Store them like this. That way, when metallic paint gets old, a lot of the metallic color will stick up here. So even when you're shaking it, it's not mixing in. So if you store it upside down, you're more likely to get that that color to mix better. And if you didn't read the post earlier, I have changed the dates that I drop these to Fridays just because I call it a scheduling conflict, but what it is I have some buddies of mine that have podcasts that go live on Wednesdays, and sometimes I am on their podcasts. And I'm always in their audiences, showing support to my friends' shows. So it's just instead of rushing through with my content, I'd rather film these on Thursdays and then drop them on Fridays. They do still have, they do actually, I believe, have Friday shows too. But I do my filming on Thursdays and then spend the time to edit and everything and drop it. So I could drop it the next day. Which gives me plenty of time to go on there and watch their stuff live still. So, and that's, you know, I like to go on and support, like I said, my friends' live videos. One of them being, I think it's called, um, well, it's on the Shadow Network on YouTube. Um, I am, I believe it's called Toy Box. And then there's Sarlacc Diaries, also on YouTube. That comes out on Wednesdays live, and I'm a big supporter of theirs. Love their stuff. A couple of buddies of mine do that. That is a Star Wars centric, and the other one is toy centric. They speak of all kinds of upcoming toys and stuff like that. We support each other. It's a group of people that really like-minded people. Really good folks, and I like to be. I usually try to promote their stuff and post their upcoming content and everything on my page. So definitely check them out. One, it's Shadow Network, and I'll leave the name in the descriptions. Uh, really good stuff. Really good group of guys. Sarlacc Diaries is Star Wars centric, and they talk all things Star Wars. These are probably the most Star Wars knowledgeable people I know. And as someone who is a huge Star Wars fan and grew up, in the 70s and 80s and grew up around Star Wars, like just the stuff these guys talk about and they know is just baffling. Just baffling, and it's awesome. So definitely check out. Actually, check out all of the Shadow Network's podcasts or YouTube. Check out their YouTube channel. They have a lot of good content. They talk wrestling. They talk toys. Um, a little bit of everything geek. I have comic books. You name it. They go down that path, and some very, very knowledgeable people. Really fun time. So, I've chose to switch my days just so I can help support those that help support me. So definitely check those people out. There's also another. I think it's coming. He's doing his first live. Actually, I believe it's tonight. It's Tashi Station. He's the one who does the 3D printing. He does. If you've seen some of my videos, I have the 3D printed back. They're toy figure stands, but they're kind of backdrops. There's GI Joe ones and Cobra ones. Anyway, and he does these amazing stands and stuff. And he's actually doing his first live. I didn't read the description, unfortunately, this morning. I saw it first thing and didn't really delve into it too much. But I believe I'm pretty sure it's about 3D printing and what he does as far as his backdrops and stuff. So that's definitely going to be something else I 100% check out. And I will, I usually drop on my socials links to everything that everybody's doing. or at least the name of the YouTube, that so you can go and follow them too. And of course, as always, make sure you check out AJ and Forbidden Panel, who's been doing, who brought back his side panel, which is or reviews on current movies and stuff like that, which always saves me the time on if I want to go see something or not. AJ has a very um, keen eye when it comes to movies, and usually I tend to agree with him on on his movie choices. So if he's telling me not to check something out, or it's just or to wait until it's streaming, I usually tend to do that because we tend to agree when it comes to movies. So definitely make sure you check out the side panel by AJ of Forbidden Panel, and of course all of Forbidden Panel stuff. I still do pop on there. I was actually I missed the last one that we did as a co-op together because I got heat stroke, and that actually really kicked my butt. I've never had it before, and I was sick for quite a few days, and have finally fully recovered from that. Only to deal with some personal family tragedies and stuff over the last couple weeks. So things have been very up and down lately. You know, just trying to get things rolling right. I have been working on my studio, which should be done hopefully here in the next few days, mid to week. The heat stroke has really slowed me down quite a bit. So so that it's taking a little longer than it should. So anyway, that's pretty much what we have going on. Once I finish this project, I think by the time we finish this project, I should be in the studio, hopefully. Um, Hopefully I don't get sick again or anything like that. We're going to do a dry run on this thing. We're going to put this sucker together and see how she's looking. Um, it's luckily these things are pretty easy to take apart. The hardest part is this has little slots in here, so you got to make sure to slide it in right. But all in all, pretty simple to put back together. I tend to just stick a paintbrush in the joint so I can pull it so the hips are shaped or pointed like the hips should be, as opposed to having to fiddle with it. Can already see a few areas I need to touch up a bit. Nothing too horrible. Let's see. The shield armor is the hardest part. It's hard to see hard to see the peg. It moves so easily. And apparently the head falls off. Put the other arm on here. Now I just got to find the hand. And like I said, a lot of this needs some touch-ups, but nothing I can't do while it's assembled. So I just wanted to put it together and get a good idea of what I'm working with here. Now I just need to find that head. So and basically that's what it looks like. The armor going on that side, the two-tone, the unarmored arm. Still need to do the rag, the belt, a bunch of details and some touch-ups here and there. But this is basically what he's going to look like. I also did need to finish the rest of those spikes right there on the leg. But I think all in all, he looks pretty good. Still need to figure out what color I'm going to do his boots. I think if I go with straight black, it might just be bringing. Oh, maybe there'd be too much black with the armor being black right there. I don't know. I can't really decide right now. Maybe I'll do it in a black with a wash or something. Now I also need to figure out how to do this towel that's right here. The last one I did it as almost like a leather tunic. This one I think I'm going to do it as a towel. So I'm probably going to do it. There's a couple different ways to achieve the look that I'm envisioning in my head. I could paint it white and then do a brown wash on it so it looks like a dirty towel. Or I could do the exact opposite and paint it brown and then dry brush it white, and it kind of achieves the same thing in a different style. It's really up to personal preference. I'm probably going to do it, paint it white, and do the brown wash, I think. And the same, there's along the belt around the waist, there's fur. And I'm probably going to do a similar thing with that. I'll probably paint it brown, like a darker brown, and do a lighter brown as a wash. So the hair has that two-tone look to it. And there's, like I said, there's no one way to do anything. I learn constantly. I try things out that I think are going to work, and sometimes they just don't. I end up having to, go over and redo them. That's the lovely thing about painting, is it's kind of like drawing with pencil. You can always erase it in a way, because you can just paint right back over it your base color and hide those mistakes. So don't be afraid to experiment. If you think something's gonna achieve a look you're trying for, I say go for it. Just try it out. I mean, So worst that can happen, you have to redo it, you know. You're more than likely going to have to redo it anyway because there's touch-ups and, um, you know, paint over spots and all that. So might as well try things out, have a little fun with it. Um, it's art, it's subjective, it's pretty much whatever you enjoy, what looks right to you. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, you can come up with, like I said, I always come up with stories in my head to every figure that I'm doing. So, I didn't even think about the edging on this, how much of that was showing. So that's completely gray right there. I completely missed an area, and that's another reason I like to dry fit things, so I can see where I need to touch up, what I need to finish. So I think so my projects look the way I want them to in the end. Um, but all in all, I'd have to say I'm very happy with the way this guy turned out. I think he looks 100% different from the other figure, which I will put right next to him in a second. So, these being the two figures. And the crazy thing is, these are the exact same figures. Some alterations, obviously. So I think once I finish this up, I'll be pretty happy with the way he came out. Just got to figure out what color I'm going to do those belts. Do the touch-ups on the flesh tone. And the couple spots that I missed here and there. But all in all, he's looking pretty good. I still need to do the weapons. I still haven't even finished this guy's weapons. Honestly, I had been working on his backpack here. I still need to do the rust. But yeah, I need to finish that up. And that sucker on there. That's the thing, is I haven't decided if I want to change this backpack up at all. I'm thinking about maybe eliminating the skulls or cutting these bars off completely. So, I don't know. Depends on how I want to change it up. Just so, like I said, these two will look completely different. Ultimately is the goal. But like I said, all in all, my vision of this has it's looking pretty much the way I wanted it. So I'm pretty happy with that. So, like I said, feel free to experiment when you're doing things. This was the head off of a excuse me. This is the head off of a McFarlane infected Superman that I used the body to make a Bizarro. And this is actually the arm off of Bizarro that I just painted it to be flesh tone. So never throw away action figure parts because you never know when you can use them. You know, I did forget there are some little studs on the back here that I need to paint gold. I am seeing a few little areas I'm going to need to hit up, but all in all, this is looking exactly the way I wanted it to. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. So, by our next week, or maybe even, well, yeah, it will be next week because today's already Friday. I will, I'll have it complete maybe earlier in the week before I start something next week. I don't know what my next project's going to be. I do have some wrestlers that I'm working on. Depends on how far in the studio we get. So I might be working on going back to those LOD 2000s that I had started with when I started this channel. So I might go back to working on those, or one of the many other toys that I have that I'm customizing that I start and then set aside. I'm really bad with that. I need to get better and start actually completing these things. My problem is the lack of room. So once, like I said, once I have that studio, I'm not so cramped in my game room. I think I'll get a lot more work done. Plus the heat stroke and everything. The heat's really been kicking my butt lately. I am doing that, as well as I might talk through how I am turning this it's really hard to focus on that. How I'm going to attempt to make a Joe Hendry action figure, and this is it's some sculpting and repainting, not actually a full sculpt or a 3D printed head. This is something that I'm going to modify. Or I already actually started modifying an existing wrestling figure. I added his curly hair and I'm starting in on the flesh tones. That's why it's so red and pink and everything. So that might be something I'm going through. Joe Hendry's really popular right now, so I might start with the process of making that head before I haven't even decided what body I'm going to use for him. Just because he has a very he's not a small guy, but he's not a big guy. So I'm trying to really find the right mix for the body where it's not too small and not too big. So once I figure that out, we can move forward on the completing the Joe Hendry. But like I said, I have a ton of incomplete projects to get to. So there's always going to be something going on this channel. And once again, if you have any requests or questions, or want to know how I in particular do something, like I said, everybody does things differently. And or maybe you have some suggestions. Maybe you think you have a better way of doing something that I have done on this channel. I greatly, I offer, I welcome. That's the word I was looking for. I welcome the criticism and the constructive criticism. Please, if you're going to just sit there and run your lips and talk about, it looks like crap or blah blah blah, whatever. I'm not here for that negativity. If you think you can do better, then congratulations. If you seem better, that's great. There's a lot of people out there who do a lot better than I do, and I love their work, and they inspire me to get better. And that's kind of the point of my art, is to continue getting better. A lot of the reason I started this is not only to help bring people into the customizing community and let people know exactly how fun and how much of a kind of a stress relief that this is, but also so I can learn myself. You know, the more I do it, the more I learn. I experiment with things. I try different styles. I look through other people's YouTubes and TikToks and all that stuff. There's some creators out there that do absolutely amazing work, and a lot of them inspire me. And I ask them straight up. You know, I ask for formulas when people make certain things. I'll ask, I'll ask for tips like, hey, how'd you do this, or what did you do for that? I'm not afraid to admit that I don't know everything, and no one's going to. So don't be intimidated by the hobby. Just understand that you're learning every day. It's art. Art's subjective. As long as you're happy with what you create, that's really all that matters. You're not creating it for other people. And excuse me. And it's fun to get praise and everything like that, but it's not necessary. I don't do it for pats on the back. I don't look for people to say, "Oh, it's great," or I'm not. That's not why I chose to do this. I chose to do it because I think there's a lot of people out there that are intimidated and just afraid to do it. Like they want to do it themselves, and they're afraid to get started, or they don't know how to get started. So this is an introduction for a lot of people, so they can get on the path to this. Once again, this is a growing hobby, and it's fun. With the invention of 3D printing, it's a pretty much it's a limitless hobby. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today. Once again, I appreciate all the kind words and support that I get from people. If you know anybody that would be interested, definitely please, like, subscribe, comment, help get the word out there. Ultimately, I wouldn't mind being able to monetize off of this, but that isn't my goal. I'm not trying to become a content creator. I don't want it to be my job to make videos and stuff like that on the internet. That's not what I'm doing. This, once again, if you haven't heard me say it before, I'll say it again. This is a long term. This is just a commercial for my toy store. We do sell toys. I do sell custom action figures. I sell vintage and modern toys. I sell video games. Video game consoles, pretty much anything in the realm of toys, I do sell it. So you can definitely reach out to me through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything like that. Email. All my links are in there in the bio of whatever social media or spot you're seeing this on. So if there's ever anything you're searching for, reach out. I will be doing a tour pretty soon of my studio once it's complete, which is also a back stock for the store. So you'll see. I think I've done a tour of the store before, but I will do again. It is built in my home. It is built in my garage. It's not huge, but we have a ton of stuff. I will do another tour of the store. And then once I have that back stock area and the studio up and running, we'll do a tour in there so you can see the kind of stuff that we have to offer. And there's even more stuff that I just don't have the room to display. So if you're ever looking for anything, please feel free to reach out. Once again, this is how I make my living, is selling the toys. I don't have the ability to work a normal job anymore. Age has caught up to me, as well as some pretty unfun health issues, we'll just say. So, we appreciate any kind of support we get from you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you pick up some tips or everything. Definitely, if you use any of the tips that you see here, or if you just get into customizing, feel free to send me pictures or videos or anything of anything that you've done. I'd love to see it. Or if you're posting it, tag me. Let me know that I at least inspired you to do something, or maybe you tried some of my ideas. Maybe you implicated some ideas you think I should try. Let me know. Once again, thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a good one until next week. Stay classy, everyone.